right, let's get started. Wait 1 second. There's a button there, and then there's a button here, and then hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Yep, mic's on. All that's good. I'm back standing where I normally am. It's a Thursday. Sorry for the misfire earlier. I was doing FaceTime and I clicked the wrong yes at the. I was setting stuff up and then wires got crossed. So I hope I didn't throw anybody off. But you know, we do the Thursday show at 4 o'clock. So welcome. Hop on in. All's well. Should be good. Can't be bad. You can't be bad. Hi, $1 trillion. Do I look swole? It's because I'm just wearing a jacket. Hi. Thank you. Yes, I'm doing half up, half down hair today because I was working in the garage again, as you do. The Botox airplane bit. Sorry, 1 second. It was the from last night. Somebody was saying they liked the Botox airplane bit from last night. Yeah, that was particularly fun. I look like MTG's trainer. Watch it, dude. I watched the Yi thing live on. Okay, I have not watched it. It's crackly. My mic is crackly. Is it crackly? Why are you crackly? So crackly. Check. I'm gonna have to swap this thing out. This thing. I got Legolas hair, right? Yeah. It's good. Clipping audio crackly. Crack is whack. I agree. Hold on 1 second. See if I can do anything to address said thing. Go to filters, edit filters. Both of those are off. Okay. Close. I know. I'll check where are the, come on you. There it is. There's the software. Very crackly popply. Okay, I'm working on it. Give me a second. Check. Yeah, there we go. And then see if I can get these things to the monitor to go out. Quit it, you silly thing. You silly goose who is silly and is a goose. Check. Weird. Yeah. Okay, now I hear myself. I got to turn this up. See what's causing the crackly crack. Maybe it's just the overall turn up. I see what that is. Check. Yeah, a little bit of a crackle, but not too bad. I've seen worse. Turn this over here. Run that back there. Is that a little better? A little clearer? Did that fix some of the crackle? It seems to have on my end. Yeah? Okay. Hooray! Okay, we did that. That's good news. All right. Maybe what happens if I turn it back up? Nope, yeah. It's the crackliness from their end. Okay, so I'll take that and turn that off. Now I won't have to hear both. Run that out there. Okay. Okay, check. There we go. Now, hopefully I haven't screwed up my entire audio for what I'm doing. But I'll work on it all the same. Crackle on YouTube, and I fixed it. It'd take a second. Okay. It should be better. All right, there we go. Hal from yesteryear. Does it sound like old-timey stuff? That's what's crackling. Ah, come on, you ratty rats. Steer through the pops. Hold on. I have an idea. Be right back. Check, check, check. Hey, check. There we go. Does that work? Are you guys hearing me now? Do you hear me now? Is it better now? Is it me? I'm pro streaming. Is the crackling gone? There's no yes, there was no crackling. But now, hold on 1 second. Check, check, check. 1, check 2, 3, 2, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Hello, fire. It says on here that I'm going out normally, so I've got to wait until the sound gets caught back up. Hold on. There we go. Okay, good. Yay! It sounds better, though? Excellent. Yeah, I had to swap out a whole microphone. I think this one's dead. It's dead. It's gone crap Ola on it. I think Chip was chewing on it. So, such sad waste. But I'll see if I can return it and get it to work again. You know, maybe they'll fix it and it can be a Rode mic or something. But fixed it and we're back and we're ready to go. Now, the reason of course that I need, and by the way, thanks for everybody yelling at me. Yeah, there is, that is, but look at that. I fixed my crack. Thank you. Yes, I did. It's very proud. Okay, now, this is the part obviously that is kind of making the news these days. This is from InfoWars with Kanye West, who I'm not going to call Ye. What kind of stupid bullshit? I'm not calling you a nickname if we're not friends. What's your name, dummy? and Nick Fuentes, who looks like he's freezing and waiting for a bus. Also, if you'll notice, we've dropped below 1,000 on Twitch subscribers again. So if you haven't resubscribed in a while, this now be a good time to do it. It's a good reminder. And if you feel like subscribing, it's a great idea. And Amazon Prime doesn't cost you a dime. Coffee. Okay. Now, we're going to jump around, I have no doubt, a little bit in this because it's an hour-long version of the show. But let's see.
Also, America First leader, and that is Nick Fuentes.
So there he is. I got to make sure my audio is in the right place. Give me a second. Take this guy. There we go. Now, let's see if I can hear this.
Alexander, Owen Schroyer, and many others are
like, look at this dipshit. It's like tonight we're playing Who's this? Will the real school shooter please stand up? Yeah, this is Nick, future anti-Semites of America, Fuentes. Fuentes does not sound white enough. No, he's not. But he's, you ever see that thing where they say non-white Hispanic and all that kind of stuff, the way they describe it that way? There's a reason. Okay. And Fuentes is almost singularly the reason. So anyways, let's get started.
Are also going to be coming through here today. And Ye has arrived in...
By the way, no, look how Alex Jones is completely caught off guard by this. Absolutely glad to take the press that will come from it, but also kind of like, the fuck?
A new ensemble here with us, but I'll assure you it is Ye. Ye, thank you so much for coming to...
His name is fucking Kanye West. Like, God, just say its fucking name.
Austin.
Thank you.
And a couple of things. One is, yes, he's wearing a zip-up hood over himself, but he's also wearing gloves. And he's got his hand on a Bible the whole time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, where would you like to start? This first little 5-minute segment is just kind of a prelude to what's coming up. What do you want to cover here today?
Just God runs the world and Jesus is the way and the life. And it's time to put Jesus first in the way that we run our...
I'm sorry. I thought it was like Nick Fuentes literally has like an America First tattoo, I think. So I'm just saying it's a matter of priorities.
Our businesses, the way we run our families, our businesses, and the way we run our country.
I run my country, my family, and my business exactly the same way. Basically, I just let them run the way they're going, and then if something breaks down, I duct tape it back together.
You're For radio listeners, we're on over 400 radio stations. They can't see you right now.
Yeah, and nobody's listening to those stations, so yeah.
This is a new look for you.
Oh no, I've been wearing a mask for a while.
Ah.
Yeah.
So this is an archetypal example that the mask is off by putting the mask on.
People can take it how they want to take it.
No, they can't. You're not an artist. You're being a dick. By the way, before we get into all this, can I have a statement of purpose right now? I don't know, Kanye West's mental health treatment history, but I in no way think that his behavior right now has anything to do with mental illness, and it's a slight against people who are mentally ill to say it is. He's an arrogant, egomaniacal asshole. If he's got anything, it's affluenza to some degree. And so if at some point I say he's crazy or something, I mean the colloquial kind, not the clinical kind. Just to be clear. That's my own personal opinion. I don't buy that, oh, he's having a mental health episode. No, he isn't. He's an asshole. Not everything is clinical. Not everything can be, made into a medical disorder.
It's just, it's interesting if you look at.
No, it really isn't.
A Michael Jordan or something, you load up all these pictures and he's smiling and he's holding a basketball, he's jumping from the free throw line, and
yeah, that was he was a professional basketball player. I'm not sure if you're aware.
You look at Phil Knight, and you barely can see a picture of him, and he's got his face covered. So I don't have to show my face; it's me.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think what he's trying to say is that Michael Jordan didn't actually dunk basketballs and play really well, and he wasn't happy. Phil Knight was marionetting him.
That's my right.
Absolutely. Well, that's
no, nobody. It's not your right. Nobody cares. And by the way, it's not your right. Try to go through the airport with your fucking mask on, dummy. Honest to God.
That's what Hollywood wants to do, though, is to control everybody through images.
What the fuck do you think Kanye West is doing right now, dipshit? Control everybody through images, says the guy with a giant television screen playing flapping American flag logos the whole goddamn show.
Exactly. So I'm in
exactly
control of my image now. It's no longer the people that froze my account. It's no longer the people that threatened me. We've got past the threats. They tried to throw me in jail for the truth.
What did it? All right. I don't know. I'm not aware of any truth he's been vilified for, unless he's just saying his anti-Semitism and his bigotry is a truth, and that people not want, maybe Twitter jail. Maybe is that what he means?
And people believe me, and people see that I wasn't crazy on what I was talking about, and they tried to write it off, and they keep trying to write it off. But the truth is, the more and more I'm faithful to Christ, the more and more he's going to keep unlocking the blessings. He set it on my heart to.
Yeah, it's true. Because having $2 billion is clearly not a blessing. The first thing Jesus, when he enters your life, is going to do is get rid of all the trappings of success. That'll help.
Build communities, to build farms, to build schools, to build the choir.
Oh, fuck. And he means his little, Christian academy. Build a pineapple farm to mix the Kool-Aid and pass it around.
But when you do that, you have to be really obedient. Hey, guys, could you not talk in the back? I'm, really hypersensitive to sound. If you guys want to talk, just go in the other room, please.
Yeah, they're running a show, dipshit.
But we have to be really obedient. One of the big topics right now is all of the pedophilia advertisement. And my take on that is,
he was in business with the company that got busted recently. So was Kim Kardashian.
There's one place in the Bible where it says God sees sin differently, and there's another place where it says, let me get out my.
Yeah, just paraphrasing. You know what? Yeah, cite it.
Phone, I can really.
Yeah, can you not touch your jacket like that? Because I'm really hypersensitive to the sound of like bomber jacket squeaky noises.
Pull up the exact thing it says in the Bible. The general gist.
By the way, obviously he's not using facial recognition on his phone.
We'll get back to it after the 5-minute break. Is that you have to
be obedient,
strict to everything, and remove as much sin as possible in order to serve God.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, within reason. I mean, there's well, obviously there's some sins you're going to want to keep around, you know, the fun ones.
When people look at pornography, when a grown man is looking at a grown woman have
Is that how it works?
sex on camera, you're still looking at someone's daughter, and you're looking at a lot of times someone that is the product of pedophilia.
Okay. All right, perv boy. Listen, when consenting adults are engaged in sexual activity, if you're looking at them going, wow, she was 12 once, maybe you're fucked up. Maybe you're gross. It's a weird fucking fixation, dude.
So people will engage in going to strip clubs or looking at pornography.
Yeah, notice how Alex is checking out of this, like, oh, I don't know how much I'm on board with this.
But then the moral compass is like, oh my God, look at the pedophiles. But in a way, anybody who looks at pornography is a form of a pedophile also.
Right. So anybody who looks at pornography, anybody with an OnlyFans account, anybody who's been on Pornhub, anybody who looks at pornography of any sort is, according to Kanye West, a pedophile. So I gotta say, this sounds like somebody trying to inverse excuse behavior. If looking at consensual sex amongst adults as pornography is pedophilia, then what's the difference? Why not just look at the pedophilia? I think sounds like what the argument is. Ew.
Bank it all in. It's very simple. We're not going to be talking about all this moral code and these standards right here. It's either Christ said so or Christ said no.
Yay.
That Christ said so or Christ said no. Well, he said not to judge other people and to love your enemies and turn the other cheek. So I don't know where you're headed.
Powerful information. I totally agree with you. Back in 60 seconds to join over 400 radio stations. Nick Fuentes in the studio. Everybody, tell everybody you know, tune in now. Infowars.com.
Oh, yeah. It's very good.
And obviously the most attacked and demonized. He's here. Nick Fuentes is here as
Fuguentes. It's pronounced Fuguentes.
well. America First. We're going to have Ali Alexander.
The America First Sammy Davis Jr. is going to be here. I'm going to attack the Capitol, man.
On Owen Schroyer. This thing's going to go for the next 3+ hours as long as Ye wants to go. Some stations don't carry the first 5, but you just dropped some bombs that I totally agree that are huge, Ye. So recap that and continue on, sir.
Okay, so I looked this up. It's about sin. That's what we're going to talk about, sin.
Yeah, how does this not look like somebody who does a Kanye West impersonation just punking the shit out of Alex Jones?
Today, and how we need to do everything that we can. We're imperfect, but to flee.
He's reading this from his phone.
To free ourselves of sin and repent for sin throughout the day, at night, and in the morning. So,
okay, just how many times? I just need to. I'm gonna have to create a to-do list or something.
Right here, the Bible says right here.
It's right there.
I know I'm gonna do.
By the way, he has a Bible, an actual one, right to his left, but he's looking on his phone. So, according to Kanye West, the new Bible is your cell phone. Part of the Illuminati? I think so.
Corinthians 2, like Trump, new Christian kind of reading of this. So bear with me. I love Jesus, but I'm not the most, experienced Christian.
Really, I didn't really get that idea. You sounded well versed in everything. I mean, you certainly know what the rules are.
And it says the book of Proverbs 6:16-19. I'm sure that's the wrong way to read it.
It's okay.
It is.
Got the floor.
Okay. Identify 7 things that God hates although there are not any punishments prescribed for those. Scripture clearly indicates that God does view sin differently and that he prescribed. He inscribed a bit. He proscribed a different punishment for sin depending upon its severity. Now watch this.
Right.
This one.
Hence the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth being mitigatory.
It says where the phrase all sins are equal.
Okay, first of all, InfoWars is putting up footage of like blue skies and clouds and shit like that. And fucking Alex Jones has the nerve to say Hollywood controls you with imagery. Does that bother anybody else? Never mind.
In the eyes of
it's lunacy anyways, but still, it's a sticking point.
God comes from. As far as I can tell, the most common argument for the belief that all sins are created equal comes from the book of James 2:10. It states,
by the way, he's not reading from Proverbs. He's reading someone else's like essay on sin.
For whoever keeps the whole law and yet stumbles.
Oh, that's why he brought up the whole law. That's about pornography. It covers several holes.
At just one point is guilty of breaking all of it. Now, I'm a big fan of Steve Jobs, even though he did create Apple. And if you notice, the logo of Apple is actually the fall of man. The
forbidden fruit.
The bitten apple, right? So we can get into, what social media has done to families and all that. We got 3 hours, right? But
you know what? Put that off till later. Yeah.
Like the way our incredible American inventors like Disney and Hughes and Steve Jobs, the way they ran their companies and invented things that changed the world. And
yeah, I mean, obviously changed them into sinful hellscapes. And if they've committed one sin, they've committed all sins. So
the way Steve ran his company was his version of
Apple's logo and Eden's forbidden fruit. Oh my God, the apple from the tree of knowledge, and you take up. Yeah, we know.
A sinless office. Everyone had to be so meticulous to be able to take what was 10 things at one time and put it in the palm of our hand. Think about an iPhone. It's your fax. It's your email.
Well, yeah, we know, asshat. But wait a minute. Apple, using the logo of the fall of man, also had a sinless office. Fuck me.
It's your phone.
And now it's 1,000 things.
Yeah, it's your camera. It's your
It's a lot of people look at porn on it.
Your flashlight.
Not me, not you guys. His phone in particular.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 things in it. But he had to have his army go in with a sinless approach. And right now, God called Gideon to make an army, the 300, the real 300.
Wait a minute, Mandy Patinkin's character in Criminal Minds?
300, not the movie version, that were all focused on serving this mission at the time. So we have a mission right now to save our families from
Apple,
social media, from Zionist control.
Oh, okay. How far are we in? We're 7 minutes in, and the Jews control the world. Okay, gotcha.
And bring Jesus Christ back to the forefront. And
so you're launching a social media site for Christians only, where you have to be sinless and to get an account, and you can't even have an account?
Protected. I don't have security. My security is the angels. My security is the fact that I didn't load up pornography last night. And I said, this addiction is going to have to flee from me.
Oh, he was going to, but he decided against it.
This addiction since I was 5 years old that has destroyed my mom and my dad's family, that destroyed my family. Like, when I take full accountability for the destruction.
Wait a minute. A porn addiction? What addiction? Since he was 5? The fuck?
Like, of my marriage. I'll point at the liberals and say, you took my wife from me. You know what took my wife from me? The fact that I was married to this beautiful person, but I felt like it wasn't enough. I felt like I still needed to look at pornography. And
all right. Also, what the fuck is this cartoon they're playing over this? So he got divorced because Kim Kardashian of all people, thought he shouldn't be looking at porn. All
The
right.
way I'd say to her, well, stop making these images. Stop breaking the internet.
Yeah, stop making porn if you don't want me to look at it. I was searching for your latest stuff when you were my own wife was the gateway drug.
That original term comes from my ex-wife actually having a nude photo that I didn't know about that someone used her and put her on a magazine. But there's somewhere where she's like, well, if my husband is looking at this, I still want to be like the girls that are doing this. And this becomes people reliving the traumas, pushing the addiction. The pornography industry is not even a big industry. It's like less than $10 billion, right? So that means that it's not used for prosperity, it's used for disparity.
By the way, George Orwell wrote in 1984, and he'd been the #2 guy in PSYOPs for OSS.
What was the caution tape? Was that Lizzo?
And ran propaganda for the British government, but he found out that he didn't like Hitler, but he found out that they were actually manipulated and created him. He didn't like the communists. He'd been one of them. He found out the British intelligence had actually created that and done that. And he explained in 1984.
By the way, British intelligence did not create communism, for the record.
That pornography is something to destroy families, destroy our souls, and get us to commit. He wasn't even a big Christian, but get us to debase ourselves so that they could control us.
Absolutely.
Did they create like Japanese pillow books and erotic art throughout history? What the shit?
Yeah, alcohol and pornography.
Yeah, do not drink and wank.
Are these legal drugs? Alcohol is a spirit. We're gonna go into the spirit of alcohol.
Oh yes, they call it a spirit for a reason.
Well, let's just go to the facts today.
Yeah, go
let's
for
not
it.
just even do opinions. And I love how you brought that in, because now you got God's warriors coming together. Right now, okay, Nick Fuentes doesn't have a Twitter account. Alex Jones doesn't have a Twitter account. But hey, guess what, Elon? I got a Twitter. And today I'm going to have Nick and Alex tweet from my account. You like that, Ari Emanuel?
Ari Emanuel. Yeah, look, Alex doesn't even know that that's actually happening.
I'm all about free speech. And the greatest threat is those that want to silence us. This is why it comes First Amendment. Yeah. Anybody trying to take your speech is the enemy.
Yeah, but anybody from the government who tries to force a private company that does anything information-wise to carry the words of someone else they don't agree with is tyranny. The fuck are you talking about?
Absolutely. Well, and it's oh
God, now Fuentes is going to chime in. He won't last long. I'm guessing he'll get stepped on.
I do find it a little bit hypocritical that Elon Musk said that he was purchasing Twitter to create a free speech environment. He says that free speech is the thing that's going to save the West and our civilization. But yet he has taken exception to you, Alex, for some seemingly specific reason.
Yeah, some random, very specific reason.
Maybe personal to him, but definitely not principal.
Yeah, personal to him because his first child died in his arms and the Sandy Hook shit was a step too far.
So I think it's time that the people finally demand a real victory here. We've been at war, essentially.
The people? What kind of commie bullshit is this? It's a private company. I'm not even guaranteed an account on their dum-dum.
Since Trump came down the golden escalator 7 years ago to put America first, to put Christ first, to free the internet and do these kinds.
Yeah, that's what Trump was doing. He wanted to put Christ first and free the internet.
Of things. And here we are all this time later, and it seems like we've stagnated or in some ways maybe even taken a step back. So
I blame Trump.
It's time that people demand we want Christ first, we want America first, we want Alex Jones back on Twitter.
No, we don't.
These are just and reasonable demands.
Well, I see it like this, and I want you to be able to elaborate on this, but I don't want Ye to get his run because he's got so much to say, and he always gets...
Yeah, by the way, Alex is not interested in hearing Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes streams all the time. The only way he gets a boost is when Kanye is talking.
Cut off, but so I'm going to try to shut up as much, but we can go 4 or 5 hours if you want, but the main show's actually 4 hours long. I was just hoping for 3. We'll do 4 hours if you guys are up for it, but here's what I'm saying.
Unless you want to walk out like he did on Tim Pool's show.
I am a classical liberal at heart, so I love everybody, and I judge people by what they do, not what color they are.
Bullshit.
And then I look at the things you've said, and some of them out of context I don't agree with, but compared to a liberal, a modern liberal saying white people are inherently evil and white people are bad because of their skin color, and then that's what the ADL and Southern Poverty Law Center and these leftist groups in Hollywood have pushed. So they're putting out something beyond even what Hitler said, but reversing it onto white people, and we're supposed to sit there and accept it. And then Ye comes out and says, hey, I see kind of a mafia running things.
Yeah, he didn't say there was an anti-white mafia running things. He said the Jews run everything. Like, stop acting like it's some sort of ambiguous general thought.
All right, we're going to curse a little bit less on this subject.
Yes, Reverend. I'm going to try. I'll stop.
And the reason I wanted Nick, people have heard from Nick, but people haven't heard from Nick with Ye standing right next to him. It's like that's the thing that the Zionist.
Oh, you mean with your hand up his ass, puppeting him? What do you mean?
Control, the 300 in control of the media, in control of the governments. They don't want us to connect.
Oh, there's 300 in control of the media. I hope it's the Spartans. I really do.
To each other. Like my dad said, okay, they say you're anti-Semitic, but they say he's a white supremacist. And he's asking me, well, what's the difference? I said, Dad, there is no difference. It's just separation and confusion. They want to separate and confuse the Christians and make us afraid to stand next to each other. A Christian can stand next to anyone. We can go visit R. Kelly.
Sure, yeah, you can come right up to him and push him right off a cliff. You can stand next to anybody.
In prison. We can go talk to Harvey Weinstein.
That's what Jesus did.
Yes, because Jesus.
Yeah, no, the idea is that you would preach to them. You would offer salvation to them. You wouldn't go, Weinstein, what do you think, how do you think we should redraft the ERA? R. Kelly, maybe you guys could get together, compare notes on suffrage.
Can save everyone. But if the Zionists can get us so afraid that they're going to do what they've been doing to me, attempting to put me in jail, freeze my accounts, smearing me on the media,
Dude has literally been smearing Jews as a group. What do you mean smearing you as a person?
All of these things, you put on the whole armor of God and they will not be able to break your spirit.
Do you armor your whole? I don't understand. Is this a big outfit or a teeny tiny little one?
And by the way, we can do 3 hours on.
Kanye West claims 300 Zionists have taken over the United States of America. Okay. Are they connected at the hip?
The subject, yeah. and you do 5 hours on it.
We're gonna do 7 hours. We'll do 7 hours. Honest to God, I would listen to you like Sting fucks. Just if I'm still listening to you in 4 hours, I should see a doctor.
And let's just get it all going now, because I want to get into everything about your plans to try to bring jobs to America, unifying people, running for president, all those other issues.
Yeah, I want to hear his jobs plan. If this motherfucker comes out with a healthcare plan before Trump does, cheers.
So I'm not steering us away from that. I'm just saying, let's just run with it as far as you guys want to go, and then I want to get into all the other topics that surround things.
Oh, beautiful. So where do you want to start?
Well, I would just start with this. There are good people from every group and every type of culture, and we all know that. But definitely.
Do we, though? Who's we, motherfucker? Because Nick and Kanye West are not on board with that statement.
The left, when it was America defeated Hitler, calls their opposition Hitler. When both my grandfathers almost died in the Army Air Corps, both of them almost died. One of them crash landed after.
Yeah, but you didn't, motherfucker. And your grandfathers didn't tell people who'd lost their fucking children that their kids never existed in the first fucking place. This like stolen valor from your relatives is sick.
A mission and got all broke up. The other one got hit in a German air raid in North Africa, and he'd only done like 18 of his missions, and then he had a concussion, and he was the captain, and then his buddies went up the next day and blew up over Italy. And he was always freaked out, but never really talked about it until he died, but when he died, we read the letters and all the awards he had and stuff, and the things he did after that, and then, re-upping and recommitting to the Army Air Corps. So I take it as an offense to have George Soros and people that actually work for Hitler rounding up people, tell me I'm a Nazi when I almost don't exist when my grandfathers went over there. I got a lot.
Also, people turn on their family lines all the fucking time. At what point does, like, if you have, and these are the same people, by the way, that Hunter Biden's problems are Joe Biden's problems. That if Hunter Biden smoked crack, Joe Biden got high.
To say about this as well. It's just nuanced with the whole thing that's going on. But expanding on that, give us, because I want you to go wherever you want. So just.
But I also need to like steer clear of like full on blatant. Don't say DEFCON 5 on the Jews on the air. That's just anything short of that. Why is that dumb fuck wearing a body sock? Justin, I think because he's a dumb fuck.
Just have you talk for 10, 15 minutes more before me and we got a lot to hear from Fuentes and he needs to be heard, but we want to hear from Ye. Go ahead.
Well, I said with Ali Alexander and Nick Fuentes that we're like the SWAT team of free thought, and
that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking SWAT team. Yeah. I was SWAT team. Great.
I go on with this battle ram at the door, and then they come in with these laser beams and have that information. And we work.
Yeah, most SWAT teams don't have lasers.
Work together as a team. A lot of times in media,
as SWAT teams do.
Yeah, they want to single out one person and burn them to the core. That is a Zionist approach, and they're asking me to use that same approach. Well, hey, don't.
Yeah, I got news for you. As bad as you might think the Jews are, they didn't invent the idea of going after someone who goes after them. Any group would do that, dummy.
Say all people, just say specifically the businessmen. And then I go on Lex Fridman and I say who it's specifically, and that's still not enough. They're still taking it too far. Everyone knows and agrees now that it's like a reverse version of American History X, the scene when they put the guy's head against the curve and kick the back of it. And now people are like, wait a second, the so-called crime doesn't deserve the punishment. What did I thought?
That's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well.
Yeah. Here comes the part everybody's been talking about. Well, when somebody says you're not a Nazi and you go, well, not. I'm just saying as raw first reactions, not strictly speaking the best path.
I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're pushing with the pornography. But this guy,
by the way, he means Jews. Jews just are kind of in charge of pornography for the whole world.
That invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a...
Okay, Hitler did not invent highways or the microphone.
Musician. You can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications.
Honest to God, does he really think Hitler invented highways?
Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. How about that one? Ari Emanuel, how you like that one? Hey, Ron, you going to do anything to fix Chicago?
Well, I am worried about the thousands of black folks down in the month of Chicago, but let me expand on that because that's a nuanced issue.
Yeah.
Is it a nuanced issue? Okay, look, there's a point where you could, the most magnanimous, open-hearted Christian, if you pinned them down on stuff, would say every person still has good in them, even Hitler. You'd say even. Even someone as bad as Hitler, there would be some redemption possible. Watch the Dahmer series. Like, there was a priest, a minister who went there and baptized fucking Jeffrey Dahmer. But it's even, not especially. The fact that he said especially is the standout part of this to me. This is,
My grandfather grew up in Dallas and from a pretty wealthy family.
Also, Hitler was born Christian.
Well, I've actually studied some of the history on it, but it's
that would be where you're wrong.
very interesting. My grandfather, grew up, and actually some of his family spoke some German. There's a lot of Germans in
What a shock.
Texas. But did you know that he grew up next door to the inventor of air conditioning and the inventor of one of the major inventors of refrigeration? And so my issue was, growing up, my grandfather told me the stories about some of the inside baseball and the things that went on. But later, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to tell you.
Wait a minute. Your grandfather lived next to the guy who invented refrigerators, or Hitler did? I'm losing the script on this dipshittery. So, are you saying your entire family was poisoned and given brain damage by breathing Freon from the first attempts at making refrigerators? And oh god,
some stuff about Hitler that you might not know directly.
Yeah, there's quite a few things he might not know
that happened to my people I knew.
I'd love to
people he knew. Yeah, Alex used to hang with Hitler's brain in a jar back in the day.
hear everything, because guess what?
Hitler grew up in a refrigerator. Can you, right, Dr. Brandon? Can you imagine the fucking game of telephone that is happening in Kanye West's head right now? The details he's going to leave this building with?
Don't get to hear. It's hidden. Even like our truth, the fact that African Americans were in America before the Pilgrims. That truth.
All right. So this is the Nick Cannon, Black Hebrew Israelites stuff. The dude who went and shot the two Jews in the Jewish part of Brooklyn. That guy was a Black Hebrew Israelite. The Covington kids that were yelling back and forth between a group of black guys, and then Nathan Phillips, the Native American dude, came up and started beating the drum in the Covington kid's face. Remember that? Okay. He thought, he walked into that situation, he saw the MAGA hat wearing kids on one side and the black dudes on the other, and he immediately assumed that the bad guys in this circumstance must be the kids in red hats. Now, they're being assholes, but they're minors, so fuck it. The guys on the other side, though, were Black Hebrew Israelites who were yelling anti-gay epithets about the fact that these kids were Catholic at them. And so that's the storyline he's buying into. This is straight. This is where he's getting all this stuff. That's why he's saying the Jews are the fake Jews. They're not even real Jews. That black people are the real chosen people, and they were here before the Native Americans. And if you go far enough, there's, the dude with the Blacks for Trump shirts? Okay, he believes the same shit. And if you watch his videos, and we've looked at him a couple of times on this station, he goes, there's like videos about how all the black people as black people, and that's why he said Michael Jordan smiling and brought him up, while he'll bring up, Oprah or for fuck's sake, he'll bring up Obama, and he'll say they're not really black. They're East Indian people mixed with Cherokees. That's the mythology around the Black Hebrew Israelites about all the other black people in the country. Truth
is hidden. That we are actually the Native Americans, or some of us are Native.
It's just a picture of Bill Gates. I'm not photoshopped at all. And by the way, I'd like to remind you that Alex Jones said earlier that Hollywood manipulates people with imagery.
Or the fact that what Kyrie got in trouble is pointing out that we're Jewish slave boats. And then...
look at Australia.
Yeah.
They've done some of the genetic typing of the Aborigines there, and they're basically Africans.
There you
Yeah, dummy. You genetic type everybody far back enough, and they're Africans. Nobody was... It used to be... All right.
Go. So all of these truths, and then the current truths about banking, about the government...
Banking.
My favorite thing that I got to say with Tim Pool was, Rahm Emanuel was right there next to Obama. Jared Kushner was right there next to Trump. What are those two people, those two Zionists, I gave it away, have in common? Nick, can you pick that up and expound on that?
Yeah, Nick, be my stunt anti-Semite. Can you jump in and I'll just say the broad strokes incendiary bullshit, and then you tell them where I got the dumb idea from.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, and it's interesting because you've been going on these interviews with Lex Friedman and with Tim Pool and Piers Morgan, and they always say, well, don't talk about a group, talk about the individuals. And I would point out, one, it's hypocritical because in the same interview, Tim Pool said, well, wouldn't Ye be so great for the black vote? You could say the black vote, we talk about Jewish businessmen, and somehow that's a problem. You can't talk about groups when it's one but not the other.
All right, motivating people based on group identity to vote a certain way is different than, I don't know, there's just something in their genes that makes them grub money and sell porn and be pedophiles. You think Nick's, I don't know, did they have to take the string out of his hoodie so he would stop choking off oxygen to his brain?
The other thing is that there is something baked.
By the way, there is no other thing. That wasn't a thing, dummy.
Into the cake in Judaism, which affects how they're brokering these kinds of contracts with entertainers like Ye. If you look at the Talmud, which is a real Jewish holy book, or part of the holy book, there's the written Torah, which is the Hebrew Bible. There's the oral Torah, which was written down as the Mishnah and then interpreted in the Talmud. In the Talmud, it says that Jews have to treat Gentiles differently than they treat other Jews. There's all kinds of examples of this. They say that
you're making Alex nervous, which is hilarious. You're making a dude nervous who would tell people who'd lost their toddlers that they were liars who never had a kid in the first place is starting to get a little flop sweaty because this motherfucker's bringing up the Talmud.
That if you accidentally, if a Jew indirectly kills a Gentile, there's nothing even wrong with that. There's nothing morally wrong with that. They say that for a Jew to have sex with a Gentile is comparable to bestiality. They say that the semen of a Gentile is like that of horses. They also...
there is some truth to that because some of us rope. I'm just saying. Sorry. It's just stupid. I can't take any of this seriously.
Say that you can't give a gift to a Gentile. A Jew is not permitted under the Talmud to give a gift to a Gentile. They're
Well, then I'm going to say that there are a lot of Jews out there that aren't, strictly speaking, following the Talmud.
Not permitted to charge each other interest, but they're encouraged to charge Gentiles interest.
What do they say about pedophilia?
They say that that's, in some cases, licit.
Well,
in some cases, licit. By the way, 14th century tribal law between anybody in the Middle East or anybody in even pagan Europe or up into the Romans, it's not how we, strictly speaking, run things in the modern world.
So you're telling me in their holy book, it says it's okay to be pedophiles as long as it's not another Jewish person?
That's something that came from Adam. I'm not 100% sure.
well, let me just get this.
You know what? Just say yeah. At this point, he's going to believe it anyways.
Let me just get this out front. I believe in free speech.
But this is fucking bananas. You're a lunatic. Unzip your hood or everybody's going to think that I'm lying. It's somebody impersonating. This is Craig Gass fucking with me.
And that's why I want you to be here and be able to say whatever you want. I'm quite
not anything you want.
A historian from a lot of multifaceted views. So at a certain point, I'm going to give my nuanced views of this.
Nuanced.
Because there are power structures, and there are mafias, and there are cliques, and there are groups, and there is certainly leftist Jews that call everybody Nazis they don't agree with. If you don't want open borders, or you don't want your guns taken, or you don't want to take a shot. The ADL had a meeting 2 weeks ago and said, Alex Jones is an agent of evil. He should be taken off the air. He's the devil because he doesn't want you to take 4 shots. And I'm like, what are you doing calling me anti-Semitic? I'm not against groups. I don't get into group politics.
Adam.
He would like to intercede. Kanye would like a word with you while you're trying to not appear anti-Semitic.
Sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yes, sir.
He called him Adam.
I've got the perfect answer for the ADL.
Great. No doubt. I can't. Here it comes. The perfect answer for the ADL. By the way, this dude had dinner with Trump last week and Nick Fuentes. And Milo Yiannopoulos, who's there.
Are going to have to listen up. What we did is we brought Netanyahu with us.
Oh, dear.
I mean, I'm in the twilight zone right now.
Netanyahu, what do you...
Net and Yoo-hoo. By the way, just in case Carrot Top wants to sue.
you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye? It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet with Nick and Ye. Okay. I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu.
So you
This is good. Have you ever thought of writing for Greg Gutfeld?
don't like Benjamin Netanyahu?
I just heard about this guy 2 weeks ago, so it's like...
But I heard that he's a Jew, so I might as well just, basically I just take everything I think about other Jews and I just overlay that onto him. It's easy. It's so great. You know what I mean? That's the thing about racism and bigotry and anti-Semitism. It saves time. Why bother getting to know individuals when you can just, see patterns instead, like an asshole?
like the tweet, and I thought he had a funny name.
Drudge Report says review Will Smith. Okay. Okay, I see. They're just putting it up there because he's on there with. I thought there was a Netanyahu thing in this middle part.
I heard he's like really into he's like a super killer. I could die for saying this. So, in case this the last time you ever hear from me.
Well, look. I'm glad you guys are here, and we.
Dude is literally like mocking the current leader of Israel in front of Alex Jones. This is so great. The best part about this is Alex just being. This is like watching the scene in Frankenstein where the monster starts strangling him.
We can sit here and upset. All I'm telling you is, you guys realize that.
Let me try to turn this into a real conversation because we're getting dangerously close to another $1 billion lost for me. By the way, I'd like to point out the fact, besides the fact that they're crossfading to like an evil-looking picture of Netanyahu while he tries to fix this shit, that between the two of them, they have lost $3.5 billion in the last 2 months.
British government created Hitler, and the Milner Group put him in power, and there's something much more sophisticated. And I personally think that most Jews are great people, and I understand there's a Jewish mafia, and they're using.
Yeah, most Jews are nice people, but the Jewish mafia just takes advantage of them and makes them behave that way.
To demonize anybody that promotes freedom, but I don't blame Jews in general for that. And there is a much larger eugenics, transhumanist, scientific elite agenda that's playing off.
Yeah, get Kanye start talking about like chipping people and lizard. Introduce him to adrenochrome and lizard people.
What about abortion? It's 50% of black deaths. There's over 50.
Hey, one of the
No, it isn't.
papers I had, you're like, why is all? And you're the director today. It's fine.
Fine. I'm sorry.
The
Good. Man, that chocolate cake, that was beautiful.
Margaret Sanger, Rockefeller-founded Planned Parenthood, came out today and said, because of your white guilt, white people need to give money so we can kill black babies. I swear to God, it's in my stack. If it had
Oh, I bet it's in your stack.
move it off the desk, I can pull it right up for you.
Why did I have you move it off the desk, Alex?
Because it's cluttered. I'm not bitching. I'm just saying, everybody asks, where's my papers? I don't have them there just a prop. I can literally go, look, I agree with you. Look at this. They say white people.
He's holding up an imaginary piece of paper now to a lunatic with a net and a yoo-hoo.
Help us kill black people for your white guilt. It actually says that. Now,
More black babies aborted than born in New York City, 2012. Black women in New York City abort over 6,500 more children than they gave birth to. Data from the New York City Department of Health and that among non-Hispanic black women, there are 31,000 induced terminations to 24,000 live births, according to CNS. In 2014, I blame Biden.
I'm agreeing with you.
Is it a problem with props? We can't. This is the voice of Netanyahu.
Well, see, you get your mop. I'm going to find the tweet here. See, because I want to show you this. This is a big, guys, I sent it to you this morning. It was in the tweets. You pull it up. It's official Twitter of the eugenics death cult. Talk about Nazis. I mean, beyond.
We're going to have
Are they a verified eugenics death cult, or
Yahoo stuff
I don't want some, sideline, chatbot version.
out for a second, okay, Alex?
Oh, he's gonna go.
I'm leaving for now until it's another meeting, and then I'm gonna say something. All right.
You're not only an artist, you're a comedian. But
No, he's fucking not. That's my job. Step off.
Nick, that's what I'm getting at here is.
That's what I'm getting at here is that this dude is unraveling.
Is that
He doesn't even know. He's just trying to move the conversation to the other side of the table, and in the middle of it realizes that that's a bad idea.
is that it was a it doesn't matter.
Yeah, see, he just bailed on it. Like, why the fuck am I asking Nick Fuentes a fucking question?
I mean, there's fluoride in the water killing us all. They're injecting us with GMO. Oh, here's a question, and I'm not.
Yeah, just fall back on the muscle memory stuff. Fluoride in the fucking water. Have you noticed? Apparently, they put fluoride in the water in the 40s and 50s, and it's been in there ever since. And you know what? Look what it's done to the American people. Look how calm and sane everyone is.
I'm not an apologist for Israel. I'm trying to be balanced here, and I believe in the First Amendment. I believe in free speech. I endorse you say whatever you want. Israel,
however,
has other than like Singapore and a few places the most draconian mRNA injections in the world. They have the highest death rate from the shots. They are literally forcibly injecting them, like Joseph Mengele.
No, they are not literally forcibly injecting them,
and
like Joseph Mengele.
Jews are dying in mass in Israel. So
Netanyahu is Mengele. Great. Okay, cool. You know what? Kanye, you're off the hook. Shellfish Wolverine has stepped in to save the day.
If the Jews are the secret group that runs it all, and I'm not denying that Jews run Hollywood, what I'm saying is,
yeah, no, I mean, why would you even? Of course.
It's the Zionist.
Yeah, but okay, well, why would the Zionist be killing Jews in mass
in Zion, which is another word for Israel?
In Israel with the poison shot.
Yeah, please explain that to me. Man in gimp suit and weird hip hop bomber jacket with racist Hispanic friend.
They work for Satan. They don't work.
Oh, I see. I you know what? That was my fault. I should have known that. They work for Satan. Is it are they private contractors, or do they have like salary? I just want to know if they get dental.
For God.
Exactly. So they create atmospheres that get Jews persecuted so they can control the Jews so they can kill them.
That seems very convoluted. That's a lot of work. So they created Israel just so they could get the Jews back there so that they could get wow. And the Germans, I guess Hitler lost World War II as a rope-a-dope to create Israel so you could get okay.
And you just did it. Just like George Soros helped round up Jews for Hitler. That's the next level. Boom, we just got there.
And they
amazing. You put it all together. It's incredible.
They control the left and the right. They make politics super messy. Like I went in to meet with my boy Trump.
Yeah, your boy.
And the next thing you know, like he typed, he said, fake news went crazy. And I love Trump like every other good Christian American. We just want to hold Trump to Christian values and say,
yeah, and say, go back to your first wife. Well, you buried her on a golf course. Go back to your second wife. You were cheated with your third wife. She probably wouldn't take you back. You know what? You should probably just get divorced and start from scratch. Maybe a year of celibacy. One of the things that you might have a bit of a problem with Trump is getting him to repent for his sins openly. Because you can't, strictly speaking, you can't plead the fifth with the Lord.
That's the only way to the White House. And if he doesn't do it, then I'm going to have to do it. I think.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it. He has to do it.
That Trump is a more senior president. I think I've got some growing to do, but I love Jesus. It's kind of like Dave.
Yeah, which is, what other qualifications do you need in a president other than them saying they love Jesus? It worked for Pat Robertson.
all of his brothers had all this battle experience, and he was tending to the sheep. But while he was out there, he had to fight bears and tigers. This is the little I know as a baby Christian.
It's just true.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you're talking. He's a picture book Christian. Like, all I can picture is fucking Kanye West sitting in on like toddler Sunday school.
Yeah, but he was able to beat that giant. And right now, this giant, there's some cleaning, there's some plumbing that we have to do. And
yeah, but you can't do that because pornography is wrong. You've already stated that. You're not even allowed to make that gesture.
And that's what I'm doing with my style of art, my style of humor.
Is that your Bible? It's a Bible.
And who I am as a celebrity to say.
You're a celebrity? I'm just looking at a dude in a bomber jacket with a zipper hood on.
Hey, okay, I've been messed over enough by Jewish businessmen to get to the point to say, I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm not.
You've been messed over by Jewish businessmen who apparently helped you get, in theory, and granted, I bet you a bunch of people who works for him aren't even Jewish, and he just assumes they're all Jews. That's part of the fun of working for Kanye, I guess. Like, just wanders into any agency he's with and goes, "Shalom, everybody," and they're like, "What the fuck's he talking about? I'm a Presbyterian." But the idea that they set up the deals, in theory, if you're listening to what he's saying here, that gave him billions of dollars and took those billions of dollars away magically, made Adidas drop the deal simply because he called all of them evil.
Not the first person that got debanked because of their political opinion.
It's not a political opinion, dumb fuck. Anti-Semitism is not a political opinion. It's bigotry. You got debanked because your bank doesn't want to funnel money to a bigot.
And I represent now the common man.
No, you don't. The common man doesn't wear a fucking zipper hood when he speaks his mind, dipshit.
When we go, I don't like the word if.
If. We are the knights who say if.
When we go into the White House, it's a us now. It's not about specifically an icon or DeSantis.
But it's issues.
Yeah, it's about the issues in America.
Yeah, stay there. Nick Fuentes, the studio. This is uncensored, folks. We're going to come back after this break, and we're going to come back after the break and play a George Soros compilation of him on NPR. It's only a few minutes.
Don't forget about me.
Him on NPR and him on 60 Minutes saying the best time of his life was rounding up and killing Jews. Yeah.
The best time of his life.
I'm just saying, I don't like Nazis.
Hold on.
So I want to know, how do I get the ADL to love me? Do I round up Jews in Nazi Germany? Do I get love then? Schwarzenegger said he loved Hitler. They gave him an award. I'm just saying.
No, he didn't.
I don't like Nazis, and I don't like what some of the mafias are doing either.
The ADL did not give Arnold Schwarzenegger an award for saying he loved Hitler. What the fuck?
I like Hitler.
Wait a minute. Listen to that at the end.
Nazi Germany, do I get love then? Schwarzenegger said he loved Hitler. They gave him an award. I'm just saying, I don't like Nazis, and I don't like what some of the mafias are doing either.
I like Hitler.
Did you hear that at the tail end? He's like, I like Hitler. We're going to break. Shut the fuck up.
It was actually probably the happiest year of my life, that year of German occupation. For me, it was a very positive experience. It's a strange thing, because you see incredible suffering around you, and in fact, you are in considerable danger yourself. But you're 14 years old and you don't believe that it can actually touch you. You have a belief in yourself, your belief in your father. It's a very happy-making, exhilarating experience.
While hundreds of thousands of Hungarian Jews were being shipped off to the death camps, George Soros accompanied his phony godfather on his appointed rounds, confiscating property from the Jews.
He was 14 fucking years old.
These are pictures from 1944 of what happened to George Soros's friends and neighbors.
You're a Hungarian Jew who escaped the Holocaust by posing as a Christian.
Right.
And you watched.
By the way, does Kanye consider this pornography? I think he might.
lots of people get shipped off to the death camps.
Right.
And you were 14.
I was 14 years old.
Yeah, he was 14 years old.
And I would say that that's when my character was made.
In what way?
That one should think ahead, one should understand and anticipate events, and one is threatened. It was a tremendous threat of evil. I mean, it was a very personal experience of evil.
My understanding is that you went out with this protector of yours who swore that you were his adopted godson.
Yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right. Yes.
I mean, that sounds like an experience that would send lots of people to the psychiatric couch for many, many years. Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe as a child you don't see the
Yeah, he was 14
connection, but it created no problem at all.
No feeling of guilt.
No.
For example, that I'm Jewish, and here I am watching these people go. I could just as easily be there. I should be there. None of that.
Well, of course, I could be on the other side, or I could be the one from whom the thing is being taken away. But there was no sense that I shouldn't be there, because that was, well, actually, funny way, it's just like in markets, that if I weren't there, of course,
someone else would be.
I wasn't doing it, but somebody else would be taking it away anyhow. In other words, whether I was there or not, I was only a spectator. The property was being taken away. So I had no role in taking away that property. So I had no sense of guilt.
Are you religious?
No.
Do you believe in God?
No.
All right. My mission here today
is to out any Jews that are atheists who, when they were 14 years old, watched Nazi war crimes from 3 feet away and didn't stand up like William Wallace and lived long enough to actually try and contribute to the world. That's what I'm trying to stop.
is to offer the First Amendment, because as long as you're not carrying out violence against someone or asking people to be violent, like the left's asked people to burn down cities and attack Republicans and
Yeah, rip Portland, rip Seattle, rip New York.
celebrated Rand Paul and Scalise being shot and attacked, then you have your free speech. And when the left came out,
He's talking to you, Kanye. He doesn't want you to openly call for violence. He's worried that you're gonna.
the last 10 years, and really accelerated the last 5, 6,
3,
it's
8.
white people are inherently evil because of the color of their skin, and that somebody who moved here as a kid from Poland, they're supposed to pay reparations for what people did hundreds of years ago in this country. It's a divide and conquer strategy. I'm not getting into the reparations debate. I'm saying
Yeah, you are.
the groups pushing reparations are trying to cause division. And so I've said it, the most Nazi-like activities I've seen
Are nothing like what a 14-year-old George Soros had to watch from 3 feet away, and if he piped up, he'd be dead.
and the Nazis, in my view, were thugs that shook people down, did a lot of really bad things.
Notice how he's moving his hand like this, like, calm down, Kanye. I have to say these things. So it gives you room to just spout.
They did good things too. We're gonna
Jesus fucking Christ, it didn't work. It didn't work.
stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Yeah. How did this end up being like a Jiminy Glick interview? Can I hold on one second? Let's see. Hold on. This reminds me. Hold on. Hold on. Whoops. This just reminds me of this. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find this. I have to cut it. Whoops. Hold on. Get back over. Quit it. Just get. Why is this all stretched out? Get over here. Quit it. What the heck?
Now we go out and about with...
Stop it. Hold on. Why does it do that? I don't want it to start the whole page. Yeah, there you go. And hey, hold on. Escape. There you go. The page gets really big. There you go. Anyways, let's see if I move this over here, and then I've got to open this back up again. Hold on one second so I can see what I'm seeing. There we go. Jiminy, there's a part in this where he's like, what is it about? Hold on. No.
Your outer colon gave me. What's the cat skills? It's cat. They would just. Would frighten me. Michael, the producers. Yes. On Broadway. And it was shut out of the Tonys. Still not ready to accept someone who is Jewish. Most Tonys ever won 12 Tonys. But it was nominated for 14. That meant it lost 2. No. That's very good. Whatever you say, man. Whatever you say. And Michael Jackson's normal. I'm going to go along with you because you're my guest. Has show business. Is it still not ready to accept someone who is Jewish? But only Jews are in show business. Really? I don't know of one Gentile that's ever succeeded in show business. What's your big beef with the Nazis? What's my big beef? Yes, it seems like you're always knocking. What's my big beef? Everything you're always knocking the Nazis. Oh, it's time for Mel Brooks to knock the Nazis. It seems. Oh, I don't know. I think they're rude. I guess.
So, my favorite part of that whole thing is where he's like, I guess.
Okay, we're going to get to that. I don't want to get digressed into this, but
you're done. You don't have a choice, motherfucker. You have a dude in a zipped up hoodie on your show wearing glasses outside his hoodie, talking to Annette and a yoo-hoo and reading second-gen preacher bullshit off of his phone with his left hand on a Bible he has never cracked. He's leafing it like it's a fucking security blanket.
Remember I told you a story about my grandfather?
Yeah, we know. You're stealing valor from your grandfather. What have you done, motherfucker? Your grandfather fought the Nazis, and you're bringing this dude on going, I don't know, the Nazis aren't so bad on your show. What the fuck? How does this have anything to do with your fucking grandfather?
Yeah. Growing up in the richest neighborhood in Dallas.
Yes, we know. You come from privilege. We get it.
And down the street was...
Yes, we know. You've never missed a dessert.
A famous German-American inventor. And he was a first-generation person. He'd come here when he was a little kid on a ship.
He was a first-generation person. So was he Cain or was he Abel? I don't know. Was that Adam?
And he held a bunch of the patents on refrigeration and air conditioning.
And he wouldn't let him go.
And
and then some Jew came. I don't know.
My grandfather worked the time he was about 8 years old because he took him under his wing.
Not in a Gacy kind of a way, I hope.
In his little tinkering factory.
Okay. Alex Senior, I've got to put my foot down. You're 8 years old. You can't spend all your time in that man's tinkering. What did he call it? His tinkering factory. I don't need you watching a grown man tinker. It's not right.
And he had factories in places like Detroit that actually built the stuff. And my grandfather...
He would fly your grandfather around when he was 8 years old from his shop to Detroit, just back and forth?
The main reason he joined the Army Air Corps, he told me, and he didn't tell me a lot about this, he just told me the story, was because he watched that man very quietly, once Hitler got power in the 30s, suck every dime out of him, or he would kill his relatives in Germany. And that guy was blonde-haired and blue-eyed, was as German as you can get, as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Or
he's Austrian.
As Teutonic, as Germanic. And the point was, my grandfather saw that. So I understand you're opposed to other forces, but I don't think thinking other forces in history that are lionized, that's my personal experience of what my grandfather...
Yeah, but you have to understand, Alex. Kanye West and Nick Fuentes think that you've been duped by Jews into believing that's what happened. I'm not kidding. That's what they really think.
Clyde William Hammond told me. Does that make sense?
Yes, anything Clyde William Hammond says to you, I mean, especially if he showed you his organ.
Not totally to me, but...
Oh, really? Zipper hood guy doesn't understand what you're talking about? Maybe it's the carbon monoxide.
And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. I'm saying, like, it literally doesn't totally make sense to me.
Yeah, we understand. You're stupid.
I'm following it. But I was just thinking about Satan, that...
Well, yeah, I know. Every time Alex Jones starts talking, my mind wanders to Satan, too. I think it's his voice. Ventura. Yes, Satan? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chickadance. I thought you were someone else. I heard animals in there, Ventura. I heard them scratching around. I never bring my work home with me, sir.
Whether it's the...
Come on in. Snoop around.
Zionists or Hitler, it's not the person, it's Satan using the people.
I agree.
Well, yeah, sure, yeah. I mean, that's a get out of racism free card. All people in this one group are evil, not because they're evil, but because they're all controlled by Satan. You know, they're like zombies. You know, they're not responsible for the fact that they eat you, but you gotta do something about it. You can't just let them, right?
Agree with that.
Are controlled by demonic forces. But what I'm going to say is the Jewish media has made us feel like...
Dude, there is no off-ramp. There is no off-ramp for his anti-Semitism. Like every time, this is kind of beautiful, because every time Alex Jones thinks, he's like, okay, cool, we're getting into demons. You just say it's demons, and then we can get away from the fact that they're Jewish and it's just demonic forces control just about anybody. We'll make it very general. That'll say, why are you driving back on the freeway? Why are you gunning it down anti-Semitism highway?
Like the Nazis and Hitler have never offered anything of value to the world. Meanwhile, there's all of these things.
Wait a minute. So demonic forces want you to believe that. Is that what?
Zionists or Hitler, it's not the person, it's Satan using the people that...
I agree with that.
Are controlled by demonic forces. But what I'm going to say is the Jewish media has made us feel like the Nazis and Hitler have never offered anything of value to the world.
Yeah, they haven't. By the way, they didn't even invent genocide, fuckhead. Genghis Khan wiped out 1 million people in a day with his forces. Just like wiped an entire people off the face of the fucking earth by hand. No ovens, trains, no automatic weapons, nothing. Just blades. Jesus.
Meanwhile, there's all of these things that are happening. Planned Parenthood is New World Order population eugenics that is happening to this date.
Yeah, it says it right here on my phone. It says Planned Parenthood, New World Order, eugenics to this date. It's right there in my phone. I had to take my hand off the Bible for a second just to use my phone, but I'll put it right back.
I got some jokes here from Owen Benjamin that I want to read about Ben Shapiro. Hey, Candace Owens, unplug this robot before he runs his mouth. Ben Shapiro's cardio is picking up shackles. Shapiro can tell how much change is in your pocket just from hearing a jingle.
Whoa. Ben Shapiro can tell how much change is in your pocket just from hearing it jingle. Like, there is no off-ramp, Alex Jones. Fuck you, dude. If Alex Jones had a decent bone in his fucking body and any guts at all left over, which he of course doesn't, but he likes to pretend that he does, he would call this right now. And by the way, he's not going to, because Owen Benjamin is the Amish beard dude who fills in for him when he's in court.
Shapiro is just mad that Kyrie won't sign his basketball. Back to you, Alex.
Nick, you're sitting over there. You want to say something?
Yeah, well,
Jesus Christ. Will you feel this so that I can...
I agree with Ye. I think that...
what a shock.
When you look...
I believe that Ben Shapiro probably can tell how much money you have in your pocket by how it jangles.
Look at what's going on today. So much of the political landscape happens in the shadow of World War II and the Nazis and Hitler. And I think it requires
Yeah, the infrastructure bill really was a big part of that. However, I think it's because Hitler invented highways.
a little bit
That's why Joe Biden wanted an infrastructure bill, because he could be like,
of an investigation, an examination of where those values come from. You know,
By the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. God help us. Like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/Hal Sparks. And if you're on Twitch and you haven't subscribed in a while, it's a good time to resubscribe.
people talk about
It's the first of the month.
Nazis and Hitler, but the United States had camps as well. The United States put the Japanese in internment.
The United States injected black people with syphilis.
Yeah, and you.
No. They tested syphilis, like the extent of syphilis, on people who already had it by not treating it. And the Japanese internment camps were awful, but there were no ovens hooked up to them. There's a very big distinction. Again, when you're talking about historical lessons, and the United States is like, we're never doing anything even remotely like that again. Meanwhile, this asshole is like, I don't know, if the Russians want to do that to Ukrainian kids, I mean, who are we to say? Who are we to judge?
Totally agree with you.
The United States has Instagram selling pornography to little kids, and they're selling.
The United States has Instagram selling pornography to little kids. My question is, where'd they get the credit card?
People are selling, it's prostitution rings. Instagram.
So is your point, let he without sin cast the first stone?
No, that's the fucking, what are you talking about? He's claiming that he's sinless.
Instagram is a prostitution ring.
Okay, all right, thank you for clearing that up. Instagram is a prostitution ring. Oh, how far it's fallen. I remember when we were just sick of seeing pictures of people's breakfast.
Like, I went 30 days off of Instagram, and it was the best part of the fast. Me getting
He had like a social media fast. Is that what happened?
kicked off of Instagram was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Imagine how it was for everybody else on Instagram.
Because when I go to it, it's like watching it with the They Live goggles, which is something that Owen Benjamin, you guys got to pull this up. Dave Chappelle is a hack, and he gets a lot of his jokes from Owen Benjamin. Dave Chappelle.
Well, okay. This is going to get him in more trouble than the Nazi stuff. That the idea is that Dave Chappelle steals jokes from the fill-in host of InfoWars. Why is he wearing a mask? Because he's an arrogant, megalomaniacal asshole, and he's a full-grown toddler, and thinks... and he can, if he needs to walk this back later, at least you didn't see his face on there, like it matters.
Went on a Jewish platform and Chappelle said they dropped.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Was there an edit there?
Chappelle is a hack, and he gets a lot of his jokes from Owen Benjamin. Dave Chappelle went on a Jewish platform and Chappelle said they dropped that nigga talking about Ye, and he called me Kanye, and I'm supposed to be his friend.
Okay, first of all, I don't know. What do you think? Now, obviously, Alex Jones believes in free speech. But they cut something out of that. They did a drop there. I don't know if that was a radio drop because he said something like he was quoting Chappelle, or he swore himself when he told Alex not to swear, so I doubt it. I think it's probably a detail they didn't want up.
Dave Chappelle does not believe in God and does not believe in Jesus. These are the kind
Either one?
of black leaders that the Zionists put in front of us.
I see. So, and so the whole thing about like dropping out of the show and going to Africa and finding himself and all that stuff, that was just for show? Did they book the trip?
And meanwhile, we want to knock Herschel Walker, but Herschel Walker changed his life for Christ.
Really? Before or after all the abortions?
And he might have had abortions, but he doesn't believe in abortion.
Well, sure. What matters is I have too. What matters?
Wait, who is the joke thief? I see.
What matters is the heart.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just say something. I don't fucking know. Get me off this anti-Jew highway. Please fucking pull over. We've got 2 flats. We're running on rims.
Yeah, I agree with Ye. I think that it's time that America has
Yes, they edited something out but left in the N-word. Right.
a fearless, visionary leader who serves Christ, who wants to bring the future forth in engineering and theology. I think that when you look at the options that were offered, and I said this on my show the other week in the news.
Yeah, nobody saw it, though, so you probably should say it again.
Who said, oh, he supports DeSantis. I said the moderate Trump.
DeSantis, nobody even knows. It's just somebody that all the left are all of a sudden.
Well, let me raise that. Let me raise that since you got.
Yeah, please tell us how the Zionists created DeSantis as an off ramp from the. Oh God,
Guys got into this, and we'll do hours on this.
Yeah, please. Yeah, you know what? Stretch it out. Because I need a lot of details filled in on this point. So the Jews and the left-leaning, I guess, let's just go straight up communists. The communists created DeSantis because Trump is too pure and loves Jesus too much.
Did I cut you off, Nick? I want you to let him complete.
No, he cut off Alex. I don't know. You can't tell them apart. It's the mask. You can't really see.
Complete his thought. Go ahead.
So the moderate Trump versus DeSantis will not produce any outcome where America or Jesus is put first. Israel is, or rather, DeSantis is mobbed up with Israel and Mossad.
There you go. I was kidding, but they really do mean it. DeSantis is mobbed up with Israel and Mossad.
Donald Trump, his speech, his announcement was written by Jason Miller, who's controlled by foreign interests. If there's a Republican primary,
I have to. Can I just say we can all kind of enjoy the fact that, like, these guys had lunch with Trump the other day, and they're saying that DeSantis is mobbed up with Israel, and that Jason Miller is compromised by foreign interests and is writing Trump's speeches.
Between them two, and they go up against Biden or they go up against Newsom, there is exactly zero chance that we get any kind of regime that's going to deliver the real change.
Nick, I got a question. If I say something,
yeah, please, yeah, stop where he. Yeah. I mean, he got in the white supremacist OK symbol, right? That's awesome. Okay, just check that off. But I there's details missing, and I think
that's provocative.
Yeah.
Towards the Mossad. Is that misogynistic? Hold on, let's hear from that. Hey, I'm the head of the Mossad. I'm gonna kill you and take your children away from you. Thanks a lot, Netin. Back to you, Alex.
Please turn your microphone around, sir. Man, I'm definitely overwhelmed here right now. Infowars.com, tomorrow's news.
Jesus.
Today.
Tomorrow's news today, which is another way of saying we pull this shit out of our ass. We're making it up as we go along.
Listen, all I'm trying to get through here is I believe every group.
By the way, I had other shit I was going to do in the show today, but this is pretty much the run of it.
Group should be able to
I switched his name to Netin. I dropped the Yahoo so we didn't have to. I was tired of picking up the Yahoo and the Netin.
It's Yoo-hoo, dipshit.
So for now, he's just Netin. I know some people call him BB. No, some of you call him Yahoo, but we're gonna call him Netin. What you want, Netin? Hey, yay, right after this, I'm gonna say you're crazy. I'm gonna take your family away from you. We're not done with you yet. You cannot cause free thought. We have to control the history books. We have to control the banks, and we have to go and kill people. Also, we're in the pedophilia. Ha, ha.
There you go. So Jews control the banks. They control history. They're going to take his family away, and they're into pedophilia. Yeah. And Alex gets to just respond to that.
So,
where was I? I think the cork in my ass is starting to loosen.
A little while, hopefully you're going to take the mask off, because is this actually Ye here? Folks, is this the mask is coming off in a little while? Hopefully, we're going to be able to have a discussion about this. But I mean, seriously.
Also, why the fuck are they showing a picture of Benjamin Netanyahu after he does that? Like it fucking matters. Like it's related to reality at all.
You have the globalists pushing a poison shot that's already killed 20 million people that they admit doesn't work. And then you're the bad guy for criticizing a group. What I'm saying is when the left said...
He's not criticizing a group, dumb fuck. He's saying they are all to the person pedophiles and murderers. The Nazis didn't criticize the Jews. They didn't get in trouble. The World War II wasn't about canceling the fucking Nazis. It wasn't what they said. It's what they fucking did.
White people are inherently bad because they're white the last 6-7 years. They open the gates up, so what do they expect? It's wrong, in my view, to say any group is inherently bad or has these traits or whatever. We should judge the individual. But it's wrong for the ADL to have what are very racial policies.
The ADL is played out. Nobody knows who the ADL are. Stop giving them attention. Nobody cares about the ADL. ADL, shut up.
Well, they run all the censorship and everything.
They don't run anything. They're played out. We run the streets.
We run the streets. Yeah. This dude and Nick.
Well, I'm singling out the ADL. So
that's we don't know who they are. No one in high school knew what the word anti-Semitic was until Ye made it popular.
No.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Well, I'm singling out the ADL.
Nobody cares about the ADL. ADL, shut up.
Well, they run all the censorship and everything.
They don't.
The ADL does not run all the censorship in the country, by the way.
Run anything. They're played out. We run the streets.
Well, I'm singling out the ADL. So
that's we don't know who they are. No one in high school knew what the word anti-Semitic was until Ye made it popular.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know that that's something you necessarily want to claim as a win. I wouldn't put that as an award on your mantle right next to your Grammys.
No, I hear you.
This is, by the way, there is a lot of similarities between what he's saying. It's the more extreme version, and Trump basically saying you wouldn't even be talking about these things if I hadn't talked about them. When Trump said things that were bigoted or flat out lies, and he's like, I'm the reason everybody's talking about it. Like, yes, because you promoted lies about it. You were lying, and everybody's going, this motherfucker's. They're not even talking about the topic. They're talking about the fact that Trump was lying about people.
Definitely a tiger by the tail. Nick, you want to comment here?
Yeah, I just want to jump in and say that,
Why didn't you jump in then? Why'd you have to be You don't jump in off the bench when you...
I don't think Ye or I are saying that any group is particularly bad or the Jews as a group are bad, but there are Jewish practices that are based on Jewish law, and there is clearly some kind of a Jewish mafia. I'll give you a perfect example.
Yes, give us a perfect example. And by the way, this is, for all the fucked up shit that these guys are saying, it is Alex Jones's control room guys that are putting up pictures of the ADL and of Bibi Netanyahu and all those folks and Soros and all that shit that are like floating these images in over it as they speak. This is live, this was recorded live this hour.
It was Ari Emanuel of WME that called for a total boycott on Ye. Ari Emanuel's two brothers are Zeke Emanuel, who is the architect of Obamacare in the Obama White House, and his other brother is Rahm Emanuel, who is the chief of staff for Obama and the mayor of Chicago. Their father, Benjamin Emanuel, was part of the Irgun, which was a Zionist terrorist group in the 1940s. The definition of anti-Semitism, according to the State Department, is if you say Jews have any allegiance to Israel, it's anti-Semitic. If you
I think it's kind of weird that you make that assumption. I mean, that's what Trump, he's referring, by the way, directly to when Trump was saying that, remember recently Trump posted his thing, I think it was on Truth Social, or it might have been back when he was microblogging on his own website, but he was basically saying that most Jews in America have more of an allegiance with Israel than they do the United States, and that's why they didn't vote for him.
You say that Jews have any kind of conspiratorial influence in
Is that Jet Li? Sweet.
America, it's anti-Semitic. So we're supposed to believe that if Rahm picks up the phone and gets on a call with Zeke and Ari, and they talk about their jobs, which are running Hollywood and running the Obama White House, a conspiracy, if we acknowledge that happens, we're called anti-Semitic. But it's the truth. It's a
By the way, like brothers working in industry across... By the way, how about this? If I think Trump talks to Don Jr. and Eric about their business while he's in the White House, these assholes would call that a conspiracy. They would call that a conspiracy theory.
Truth that they make those calls. And it doesn't mean that every Jewish person is in on it. There are good Jews like Darren Beatty and Laura Loomer. And, there are lots of fine people.
Laura Loomer.
Does he have a list?
Call in. Also, it's like there's Jewish people that are basically hiding me under their floorboards right now, under their wooden floors. It's like a reverse version of the Holocaust.
Oh, shit. Yeah. So Kanye's going to do a music video where he's he's green screening himself into the opening of Inglourious Bastards.
Because there's Jewish people that saw how I was treated, and they're like, this is wrong. This guy just gave an opinion. I didn't cause any harm. I didn't harm anyone. All I said is, and I spelled it wrong because I was drinking alcohol, and we see the Bible says you can drink, but the king should not drink, right? And
oh, I see. So you're the king now. Again, not mental illness. He's an arrogant, megalomaniacal asshole.
And I shouldn't have been drinking. I shouldn't have said DEFCON. That was a $2 billion tweet, basically.
Yeah, you are. You're in no state. Actually, I can't wait for his sitcom with Roseanne to come out.
I know you know about getting sued.
I hear you. So let's.
He didn't get sued. Hold on. Alex got sued. Kanye didn't get sued. He got dropped.
Yeah, that's also drinking. So let's expand on this.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
What you say is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, all right, well, that settles it. So I guess walking shit back didn't work, Alex. So what, can you imagine? Imagine the moment in your life where you're the biggest asshole you've ever been, ladies and gentlemen, people watching the show, and I know they're few and far between for our crowd, but we all have them. We all have moments we're ashamed of. And imagine at the height of that, you actually saying to Kanye West, after all the shit that he just said for the last 40 fucking minutes, what you're saying is what I'm saying. Can you imagine being like dumb enough to actually say that shit?
You didn't kill anybody. You're simply here saying this, and you're being demonized and attacked, and you're...
Yeah, and he's not getting killed either. He just doesn't get to make millions of dollars from companies that sell to everyone because they don't want an anti-Semite as the face of their company. You're not guaranteed this fucking billions of dollars. You know how many other artists there are that don't pull this shit and aren't awful to people and aren't losing their fucking mind all the time and acting like pricks and talking about Zionist control, the fucking, like, just straight up flat earthing their way through this? I mean, the most embarrassing thing is how long they let this asshole be the face of Adidas and the other companies that, like any of his shit is original, interesting, or good. It was just because he was fucking married to Kim Kardashian and they had a $1 billion industry. He fucked his way into that.
Saying that is hypocritical, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. George Soros admits he went around rounding up Jews.
No, he didn't round up Jews, you motherfucker. He was 14 years old. He was following a dude around who was doing the confiscations of their goods before they were rounded up. And at 14, he basically was making the case, I didn't understand it at that time. I don't have any guilt about it because I didn't do it. But the idea was that it was going to happen whether I was there or not. And what I learned from it was, and there were people who like did stuff in the camps that were like capos in the camps that were really awful to the other Jews that were there. And then there were people who facilitated it, but in the facilitating it just to stay alive, cleaning places, moving people around, that they survived and they have survivor's guilt about it because they were adults at the time. And by the way, understand that these are two gentlemen who have never missed a fucking dessert in their goddamn lives.
I thought they were going to be protected, stole their money and sent them to Nazis.
He was 14. During World War II. In occupied Germany.
Point is that's what the left does. They hide,
in occupied Hungary.
Hide behind black people, they hide behind Jews, they hide behind groups, and they
hide behind zipper hoods.
Use racial politics to control. And so I think that's the most important thing.
Whoa. Hold on. Mr. Hollywood uses imagery to control people. Meanwhile, he's got this fucking American flag smear going behind him, and he's using Hitler footage and George Soros while he's talking about is
to understand that we can all come together under Christ.
Also,
No, apparently not. If you're not Christian, that's why we are a society that is open to all religions. There's over 2,000 religions practiced in the United States and people who are not religious.
They blackmail. Okay, go ahead about the Christ thing. I want to hear this.
Yeah, finish the Christ thing, because he's a new Christian. He's a fledgling. And while he thinks he speaks for Christ, he doesn't know his ass from his elbow in terms of scripture.
No, we could just, I'm just saying, I mean, I don't hate anybody because of their religion or their background. And there's great people from every organization. And I think
he keeps trying to fucking walk this out. And every time, here it comes, Kanye is just laying rakes all over this fucking studio. And Nick Fuentes sitting on the other side. He can't even look in Nick's direction when he says this shit.
Soros can come to Christ. It is a possibility that he can convert and come to Christ.
Would you meet with George Soros if he wanted to meet with you?
Absolutely. I would meet with anyone. That's the whole thing. Laura, we're live. What's up? This is Laura Loomer.
I'm watching live. I saw you just said that you wanted me to call in, so I'm calling in.
Well, Laura Loomer has Kanye's phone number.
Well, how does she have your number?
Well, she called me because she had some concerns about Milo running my campaign.
No, that's great. So here's the deal. Can we?
Why? Because he's Catholic and a reformed gay? Is that her problem?
We've got Laura Loomer's number. Can we call her on Skype or Zoom? Can we actually put her on the show?
Can anybody but you please speak, is what I'm saying. Somebody help me, get me the fuck out of this.
Laura, you're on via speakerphone. Can you come on via Skype or via phone right now?
Yeah, I can't do video right now, but I could do audio.
As she's in the tub smoking a cigarette like Hunter Biden.
Texted your producer.
Laura, we're gonna call you right now. We're gonna put you on air in 2 minutes.
Don't trash Milo. I like Milo.
I'll call in right now.
You didn't say yes.
Yeah, they're going to call her. They got her number.
Okay, cool. Bye.
This is crazy. Listen.
Yes, it is. It's crazy. Having them on and thinking this is a good idea is crazy. Nobody on this panel is crazy or mentally ill. They're fucking assholes.
All I'm trying to say is...
Milo's Jewish. I love Milo. Yeah.
And...
who converted to Catholicism.
You've got a little bit of the
That's why.
Hitler fetish going on.
It's not a fetish. It's not a fetish.
Look at him. It's kind of a fetish. It kind of is. Like, he's going to be on Glenn Beck's show next, more than likely, asking to borrow that Nazi uniform that Glenn wore on one of his book covers.
That's a term, like, I just love information.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm just, it's a curiosity. I'm Nazi curious. That's what it is.
They have some documentaries, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a documentary about the Nazis. I know they exist. I think the History Channel had like one once. One 10-year period where that's all you saw on the fucking History Channel. I used to call it the Hitler Channel.
Bezos is allowed to put up any documentary, but if a basketball player tweets it, he'll lose his entire career. I think that's...
Well, that's where I want to go, because you've got millions, hundreds of millions of Chinese locked down right now by... And Chinese are great people, but their government in that country is the most racist, homogenistic...
racially homogenous.
Or homogeneous, actually...
No.
Group there is. And all I'm saying is I really care about those Chinese people under lockdown because they want to use that as a model against us. I'm just kind of not.
No, they don't. We're not anywhere close to that shit, dummy. It's a contrast to exactly what we're going through. Like, you wish.
I'm not on the whole.
I'm just watching it happen in China and saying that the Biden administration would love to do that here, even though they're not doing anything even remotely close to that, and everybody's using that as like, thank God that's not happening. But that's basically code.
Whole Jew thing is what I'm saying. I don't.
Oh God, this is not
about those Chinese people under lockdown because they want to use that as a model against us. I'm just kind of not. I'm not on the whole Jew thing. It's just.
That's a good quote. That's what you want. Following you around for a couple of decades, Alex. Jesus, that is a soundbite. What was that?
And I really care about those Chinese people under lockdown because they want to use that as a model against us. I'm just kind of not. I'm not on the whole Jew thing. It's what I'm saying. I don't care what people talk about. I believe in free speech. I'm just really worried about the forced injections, world government, 5G, the open borders, the collapse.
Yeah, all our normal talking points that I used to sell lead-laced dick pills and MREs for people who live in hollowed-out kerosene tanks they bury in their backyard for when the end times come because of Armageddon, which is a hill in Israel called Armageddon, which is we got to get all the Jews. God damn it, I did it to myself.
Currencies, war with Russia. What do you think?
Just you know what he just did there? Do you know what he did? He knows that Kanye's brain is fucking porous as shit. And he's hoping, beyond hope, he takes any of those things and chases them down a rabbit hole and talks about them and doesn't talk about Jews for a second. That was what that was. That was an attempt at it was like layman hypnosis. That was like somebody trying to hypnotize somebody on a fucking bus.
I don't have all of that information.
Do you not watch Alex's show? The fuck?
I have the information that 2 days ago.
Yeah, I don't have any information. I mean, I don't really know Christianity that well. And all I know is I'm not ready to show my face while I say what I'm saying. You know, like a hero.
I thought I was going to be put in prison because my accounts are frozen.
No, I get it. You're in Hollywood.
Why? No, he's not in Hollywood. And also, he's in the fucking valley. Eat shit. But you're not going to get thrown in jail because you lost 2 giant deals, dumb fuck. Yeah, hold on. Can I just say this for a second? By the way, reminding everybody, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. This is what I do for a living now because thanks to COVID and the lockdowns, you got to start from somewhere. And thanks everybody who came out or watched the show and the patrons who watched the show last night. Patreon.com/Hal Sparks, super chats, and don't forget to subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Because that, you know, food. Anyways, how the fuck, and this boggles my mind. How the fuck do you have $2 billion worth of accounts and not own your house and your shit outright? Like, I understand where, like, MC Hammer people will get, like, leveraged out the ass. But at a certain point, how do you not have your accountant set up a trust that your house is in under your kid's name or something like that so that, I'm just spitballing, if you shit the bed and lose all your money, not because of this kind of shit, but just because it goes away, because life is rough, because there's no guarantee you're going to keep $1 billion deal. Ask the fucking dude from FTX or whatever. Shit can happen. So how do you not own, like, this confused me about Trump too. Why the fuck doesn't this motherfucker own a house? Why does he have to live in his rental properties? I'm sure there's some, there's a level of write-off that people benefit from. But you can have at that level, you can have a fucking $4 million house someplace that just paid off and that you've set up some sort of a fund that pays your property taxes for the next 30 years. Like, wouldn't you do that if you won the fucking lottery? Wouldn't you do that if you had that kind of money? It's so goddamn weird. I don't understand these assholes at all.
And the managers you see are, so I get it from your perspective. I get what you're saying.
No, what do you mean from his perspective, motherfucker? His perspective is his manager, his accountant, the agencies he works with, Adidas, everybody are all run by Jews who have it out for him, which is why they gave him billions of dollars and only took it away when he said that they're responsible for all the wars that ever happened. Fuck you.
Yeah, and I love Jesus, and...
Based on what? Anybody can fucking say that. What the fuck does that mean? I love Jesus is a fucking bumper sticker, you cretin.
I have to fight this war to make a...
No. Jesus, like, Onward Christian Soldiers is a fucking hymn. It's not based on anything Jesus said. That, you know what the war looks like from Jesus's perspective? Turn the other cheek.
Better place for my children and for everyone else's children. I got to put...
I got news for you. I don't know that kids need to grow up that rich, but I think they were better off when you had $1 billion than when you pissed it away being a bigot.
Myself, my accounts, my name at risk to stand in the front of this war that we have.
What war, motherfucker? Against the Zionists? Jesus Christ. This is like, this motherfucker thinks he's in Snowpiercer.
This is InfoWars, right? So we're going to.
No, this is infotainmentwars.com. We don't need the documents. We have it all memorized.
Give this information on InfoWars.
By the way, I asked the crew.
What information? Honest to God. We've been listening to this bullshit for 44 minutes. What information? I mean, we could put, like, half of it's just his fucking opinion about the Jews, but the rest of it is Alex Jones prattling off talking points, 5G and Chinese and Communist Party and blah, blah. Like, the more people dying and blah, blah, which is not based on fucking anything. He like grabs multiple stories and forms a new fact out of 5 facts that don't add up to that. Does it all the fucking time. It's basically what the show is. That's why he has all that paper out, is so that he can take all these things and tie them together into a new truth. That's why it's tomorrow's news today, because he's using this to sort of predict where he thinks it will go. And it never does. Remember the FEMA camps? Remember Agenda 21? Remember they were all the plastic bins that they were creating that were for shipping and God forbid, you have a giant hurricane again like they had in Katrina, and instead of putting human beings in body bags when you have a mass death event like that where they crush each other because you don't have room to lay them all out because it's a fucking hurricane zone, that you put them in these containers that can be pulped afterwards because it's unsanitary, so that people can get their relatives and have their bodies whole so that they can fucking bury their dead. But Alex Jones turned that into, they're making these things so that they can scoop us all up and bury us in the fucking desert because the UN shock troops are coming. That was a fucking year of that bullshit.
Very lovingly. I love the crew. But you guys gave me the tweet I sent you this morning of the abortion mill, New World Order, depopulation, kill the black people organization, Planned Parenthood.
Yes, that's in the title.
Where they said it's white people's job to give money so we can kill black people.
Is that what it was? That's not a paraphrase. That's a direct quote, I hope.
It actually says that, and Ye didn't want me to have it on the desk because he wanted to be able to have it all look clean and stuff, and I get that, so I'm happy for Ye. But will you guys give me that damn tweet? Because I love you to death, but I'm asking for an hour. I need that damn tweet.
Get me out of this.
I want to show people this because it is such mind control.
To sit there with a dude who won't show his face and a white supremacist in front of a smeared background of the American flag.
To say white people.
Why don't you just gesture like this, too? It is such mind control. See, I did mind and then...
You've got white guilt. They actually say, you're bad because you're white. Help us kill black people. What?
Yeah, I'm going to need to see that tweet, too. That's going to have to be a direct quote. From Planned Parenthood? I wonder why they're having a hard time finding it.
What type of freakish, crazy world is that? Yay?
Zion.
Who the fuck are you asking? And then he goes, Zionists. Watch this. Holy shit.
Say, white people. You've got white guilt. They actually say, you're bad because you're white. Help us kill black people. What type of freakish, crazy world is that? Okay?
Zionist.
God damn it. He's like, I was just trying to create a thing where, like, black people are being murdered and now you're supposed to be on my side. And fuck.
Is that too wide of a idea? Or do I have to just go specifically to who does that? But it's the...
Yes, specifics. Otherwise, you're a fucking bigot, dum-dum.
Devil. It's a devil. We all, like Grandma used to say, we all need Jesus Christ.
Is that what she used to say?
And where I'm at, this position where...
by the way, is he burned from head to toe? Is that what we're going to find out? Is he going to unzip this and be like Deadpooled?
God he's using me as a vessel.
Uh-huh. Yes. He's using you as a bedpan, dummy.
Everyone always knew that I was special, but now I get to be a vessel. And I feel...
Yes, you're a special vessel.
So-
Congratulations.
so-
Aren't you a special vessel? Yes, because nobody else wants to fill a bedpan with anti-Semitism and slosh it as they walk.
Oh, I'd like to go into a prayer. It's a prayer that my cousin wrote. Now,
A prayer that my cousin wrote.
this prayer it's pretty long, so
Yeah, well, we've got time. He gave you all 4 hours. Start reading. Don't even ask.
please don't cut me off in the middle of this prayer.
I'm not. Go ahead.
So what happened is,
Yes, all prayers start with, what happened was...
we were doing a family prayer Zoom on Sunday.
As you do.
And his name is Wayne. And he tells me, he says, Kanye, he's like, bro, my name's Jay. You say a prayer. And then I said my prayer, and I felt that it was very profound. I felt like it was yay-level bars where I said,
Yay-level bars. He means like cell phone bars. That's like high signal. Why am I the yay translator in this bullshit? His name is Kanye.
let's remove this whole conversation of morality, and let's stick to the Bible and say either Jesus said so or Jesus said no. Hold on, I'm gonna wait till you drop this. Boom.
I'm listening.
All right, so, and I felt like that was profound. That's like a bar that made me top 5 streaming artists without an album this year.
Yeah, no, you don't get to just say a sentence and suddenly it's fucking music.
Jesus said
it's got a terrible beat and you can't dance to it.
so, or Jesus said no, because we want to bring in our creative direction and our opinion and our moral compass.
And by our, he means anybody but the Jews.
Get the words moral compass. Is it in the Bible? What did the red letters say? What did Jesus say about it? And
The red letter. He's got the New International Version of the King James where they put all of what Jesus said in red text. I had one of those when I was a kid.
then we make our decisions off of that. So I said this, and then I had an idea. Let's stop hoping. Let's pray. Let's talk directly to God. Let's stop hoping for stuff.
I agree with that.
He has hope in here. And then
Like an asshole.
I took it out and
I took the word hope out of a prayer.
then I put it back in. And
That was nice. You took it out. He just set it aside for a second. This motherfucker's making refrigerator poetry out of someone else's prayer. Can you imagine? You know how sometimes, and this is going to be rough because he's going to start doing this shit, and I have, a guideline on my show where if somebody prays, I either don't interrupt it or I move past it because I'm not going to criticize anybody's prayer. It's not up to me. That's their own shit. But he's fucking editing his cousin's prayer? What an asshole.
And then so I said this prayer, and my family members, they didn't say anything. And
Yeah, they were just a lot of snickering.
And he said his prayer, and the whole family was like, oh, that's the best prayer I ever heard. And he's like, I know. My prayers could be intimidating. I know. They're like, did you write that down? That was the best prayer ever. And I was thinking like, bro, why you set me up? Why you set me up to say my prayer right before your prayer? But this is...
Oh my God. It's like he's having a dick wagging contest about prayers.
his prayer. I was like, yo, send me that prayer, bro. That prayer was...
Send me that prayer. I'm going to turn it into a song, because that's Kanye's entire career. Take other people's work and make it his own.
Pretty good. It says...
That's pretty good.
Now, Nick is Catholic, so he doesn't like referring to Jesus as Yahweh God. But I am... am I black? Am I African? Am I Semite? What is they call me anti-Semite. They said I'm a nigga in rap. They said I'm black. They told me, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Okay, James Brown, you tell me who I am. But I know that I'm a child of God, and I know Jesus died for us. This is the daily prayer.
Well, if you know that, then leave the other shit out of it. Leave the shit you don't know out. Like, look, I know that the Lord loves me, therefore I'm just going to walk around sexually assaulting people, knocking people over the head and taking their valuables because, all that stuff, it may be a little messy, that's life, but at least I know Jesus loves me. Like, shut the fuck up.
Written by my cousin Wayne.
Wayne.
Yahweh God, thank you for life, health, and strength, faith, hope, and love. And another day.
It's a direct quote. God damn it.
To bless, protect your most holy name. You are pathways to the relish of who you are.
Also, and I'm not buying into this bullshit. I'm not going to make fun of his cousin's prayer just because this asshole reads it on InfoWars.
And with the will to your ears, y'all.
And by the way, Alex Jones's crew can't find that, like, Planned Parenthood, like, we're Planned Parenthood. We're here so that white people can kill black babies. Can't find that tweet, but they sure as shit can find all this, like Jesus postcard video from the Hallmark Channel's, royalty-free clips website.
So we may only under flesh and blood, Yahweh God, prepare all of the we deserve.
Today will be Nick Fuentes. I'm your guest host here in Insane Asylum World, because the whole world's crazy. All of us are nuts. This is Twilight Zone 2.0. We will be right back.
Don't me when you say that.
No, I'm talking about all of us. The whole world's crazy. It is crazy. Everybody's crazy. I believe that. I'm saying the guest host here because these guys are hosting. We'll be right back with hour number 2.
No, we won't. Holy shit. Thanks for making it. I think we might be the only people who did the whole hour. I've seen a bunch of clips of that shit on Twitter. Some people have put up there, Ron Filipowski and others have put up clips of it and stuff, but that's the whole hour that's out there. I'm not going to pay for fucking 2 more hours of that bullshit. If he posts it later, we might look at some of it, like whatever clips he decides to put up, but holy shit. Let me just say for the record, that, again, if you weren't here at the beginning, I don't believe that Kanye West is mentally ill or having an episode. I think he's an asshole. I think he's a megalomaniacal prick. Same thing with Trump. Trump doesn't have narcissistic personality disorder. He's an egotistical shithead who also has low self-esteem. He's not blind. He can see his reflection. He knows he's completely gross. And he has contempt for every woman who would be with him because he's disgusted by himself, so she must be a pig. And he's disgusted. He's got contempt for any woman who wouldn't because they reflect that back to him, and it takes his power away. These are the same fucking people. No wonder they all, like turds of a feather, man. They all hang out because they've all got the same bullshit. And whether he's bipolar or not or something, again, none of us have been in the room when his doctor's talking to him. None of us know if he's on any medication or if that's a serious thing, or if his own people were like, you're fucking bananas. And they were like, it's got to be an illness. Nobody's that big of an asshole. And he's like, no, I'm really an asshole. I really believe this shit. I'm not mentally ill. I'm just fucking dumb and full of myself. At some point, that's got to be a possibility. In the realm of possibilities, I would like to present the idea that Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, Kanye West, and Donald Trump are all absolute assholes. They're just completely arrogant dipshits who think they somehow deserve extra space in the world. And the reason why sometimes people like that will get medicated by doctors when they come across them, or they have like big flip outs, like Kanye West is having manic episodes during stuff, is because he actually believes that shit. And everybody around him's like, that's fucking crazy. Why are you screaming? And he's like, I'm screaming because you plebe pieces of shit that don't understand the greater truth that I know are, below me, and I have to listen to your shit. It's an act of arrogance. He was able to travel there. He can, in theory, drive a car. He can cross the street without being hit by one. He purchases food. There's all sorts of processes where he understands what's going on in the rest of the world. It's just that he doesn't give a fuck. Same thing with Alex Jones. A big portion of what Alex Jones is saying on his show is in character. He's just fucking making it up as he goes along. But he's making it up for the reason of leeching off the desperate morons in his audience. Alex Jones isn't crazy. Alex Jones is a conniving fuck. Nick Fuentes might be the only one with an out in that he's young and stupid. There's a chance he might be like Strom Thurmond when he's in his 80s and go, I was wrong. But that's not my responsibility or your responsibility, and we don't have to sit around and wait for it to happen. He's a fucking asshole. Stop it. Like this idea that somehow that there are people with genuine mental challenges, bipolar disorder, that go through stuff, and there's an imbalance in their ability to communicate what's going on with them. That, I mean, there may be times when, because I'm not a Kanye fan, I don't give a fuck, and the same thing might be true of Alex, and it might be true of Trump and Nick Fuentes and all these people, because we don't see them all the time. But never has there been a time where any of these people have been incapable of articulating their stupid ideas. People who go through genuine mental health crises, the jibber jabber doesn't come from an overwhelm of ideas. It comes from the inability to biochemically communicate what's going on in their head because it doesn't even make sense to them. So I'm seriously, I'm really tired of this idea that somehow, like, that mental illness is like this tap out for some people who just want to be awful, and that people who have genuine mental illness or challenges around that are somehow lumped in with these fucking people. Are you kidding me? It's at some point there's got to be a standard by which, all right, how'd you get in the building? I opened the door and I walked in. And did you sit and wait until it was your time to come in? Yeah. So you could put off gratification. You didn't storm in there screaming like a lunatic. It wasn't an ego point. You just waited till you were. Did they mic you up? You stopped someplace with your friends and thought it would be funny to buy a fucking net and a Yoo-hoo? And you had like an unplanned whack job comedy bit that you thought you were going to throw up on the show? That right there says to me, you're not crazy. You're a prick. And it's aggravating because I feel bad for people who really do have a hard time articulating the challenges that they have because of mental illness, because of bipolar, schizophrenia, or any of those kind of things, to kind of just go this amateurish trolling behavior where, I mean, these dudes just love the smell of their own farts, somehow get lumped in with them. It's wrong to me. I just feel like it's wrong. And, you know, it kind of reminds me of when, remember when Mel Gibson got busted? He was like, I was drunk. Like, yeah, drunk doesn't make you anti-Semitic. It lowers your inhibition so you say what you really feel. Right? It's not the same fucking thing. Nobody is made racist or bigoted by alcohol. Yeah, these guys are trolls. And this is just, it's almost like, we talk about this. And by the way, hi trolls. Hi everybody who's a troll in our chat room. And there's a few of you out there, maggots. I'm sorry about the last couple of weeks you're having, and then I'm kind of not. But there was a period, 2015, 2016, where trolling on the internet as an individual act mixed with bots and other shit was sort of like a minor hobby that run-of-the-mill, dickheads on Twitter and other stuff, on Facebook and whatever else would just kind of get their rocks off being assholes to people, right? What that did was, because of branding and the kind of ad-heavy period we're in because of social media and the crossover with actual advertising, that artists and people with real products interacting with people on social media who are just showing pictures of their dog or their food, and it's all got to be, you have to be genuine and you have to be authentic and all that kind of stuff to sell your product, while people are just being authentic and all that. Like that crisscross created what are effectively celebrity trolls. Professional, like, you know, every industry ends up being to some degree hierarchical, and then some people will, you know, who already had a head start, will climb to the top of Mount Troll and just piss down on everybody, you know, and enjoy themselves. That's what it is. That's all this is based on. Trump, Fuentes, Kanye West, to some degree, like Alex Jones is kind of like this mid-level troll for fucking ever. That these guys have basically turned it into an industry. Yeah, Jimmy Dore is another one. Jimmy Dore is turned being a troll into an industry. Musk is another example. He is like, he knows he doesn't earn the top spot at the companies he's at because he's not the inventor. He's not the idea guy. He just had a baseline of money that allowed him to angel his way in, and he created a mythology around himself. And so now the only way he can get attention or appreciation is to lord over people on a social media platform. He's a professional troll. And it's no surprise that became an industry, that it became a job. Just like what I do here has become, sort of the blue collar level of this. There's top line, what I would say, like white collar political streamers, right? That have been on for, a decade or more, have, pushed their, worked their way up to the top of that hill and are sitting there either waiting to get knocked off, or retire or whatever the fuck. It's the same thing. There's money to be made in trolling to some degree. And if you, and this is where I think Kanye's trying to pick up slack in his life, because he fucked up bad. And he's decided, if you're going through hell, keep going. So he's going to try and make money on the other side of this. And, you steal that fucking Alex Jones money a little bit. You get, Mike Pillow has been probably the biggest example of somebody who went, all right, I'm not going to sell my shit to anybody sensible anymore. So I'm going to corral the MAGA crowd into being the only sheet and pillow they buy. And that's that. Because it better to have a corralled audience that only buys your shit than try to sell one pillow, every couple of years to everybody. Trolls are people too. Some of them are bots. But thank you, Marcia. I will do just that. Oh, Laura, thank you so much. Hold on, we're getting... good news. Yes, in the last... Yeah, I noticed that. Can't Stop Lying pointed out that in the last 28 days, we have gotten 1 million views on this channel. Hi. We got 2,500 people in the chat right now. And I'm going to take that as a win for stoic optimism. But I want to make the case that there are these... That trolling is now an endeavor. And I want you to be, like, on the lookout for it. Because it's like they walk around with a milking machine and they're trying to attach it to you. And I know that sounds like fun, but they don't mean you well. It wasn't the mic, no. Is it crackly again? Am I getting crackly? I'm going to have to swap out the whole thing. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll let you go. Tomorrow morning, morning show, the House Sparks Morning Mega Worldwide is going to be on. I'm still trying to finagle some guests. I'm new to the whole guests thing. So I've been working on it. And I spent the last week just trying to get Philip on other shows, so I haven't booked anybody. But I'm going to get more into that as the year ends. And then... Saturday, Philip will be with us for the radio show, the House Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide. And then in the afternoon tomorrow, I'll cover some of the clips I was going to cover today, because there's some great, like, maggot infighting in the media amongst them. And then there's also a couple of, like, Trump legal problems that are going to spike in the next 48 hours. Oh, thanks, K-Link. I think I'm enough too, but I also like to have conversations with people on there, and it's nice to have like Bob Seska's tapes his show around mine, or I'd have him on more often and that kind of stuff. It's just like threading a needle with some folks. But anyways, I adore you guys. Love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Thanks. By the way, we're at 985. Is that 965? It's very small. So if you want to subscribe on Twitch, twitch.tv/HalSparks. If you use Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you a dime. Helps the show. And then, of course, Super Chats and all that kind of stuff. But at the very least, give a thumbs up on your way out the door. And then and like and subscribe on whatever platform you want, because I'm an equal opportunity streamer. I'm a professional streamer now. Yes, and Richard would be great. I'll see if I can get the Major on tomorrow, see if he's available. Yes, Bald Thanos, I know. By the way, is there a Thanos with hair? Did Thanos ever have hair, Bald Thanos? It's a good question. And on that note, I would like to say, fuck Thanos, long live Captain America. Steve Rogers or bust. All right. What about Steph? Steph does 3 hours in the morning. She didn't want to come on my show afterwards. Tony Michael's a good idea. He talked to me about maybe coming on. We're going to schedule something. So it's a great idea. That said, I'm going to see if I can pitch you guys over to another show on Twitch. I'm able to raid some channels and see who's there. Hold on. I don't like this. I've got to slide this over here. I don't know why this shrinks down the way it does. Yeah, I think Midas Touch is in there. Hold on, let me see if I can. I'm gonna make sure, because sometimes if I don't like reopen the page, it gets confused. So let me see if they're up, and then we'll see if we can raid them. Nope. No, wait. Nope, nobody there. Yeah, that was a couple days ago. All right, I'll let you guys go. Much love. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And remember, if you're ever confronted with a choice that you believe is the lesser of two evils, choose less evil. Love you guys. Okay, see you tomorrow.